Proudie became known as a useful and rising clergyman. In person, Dr. Proudie is a good-looking man, spruce and dapper, and very tidy. He has a large family, of whom the 3 eldest are daughters, now all grown up and fit for fashionable life. And he has a wife. It is not my intention to breathe a word against the character of Mrs. Proudie, but still I cannot think that, with all her virtues, she adds much to her husband's happiness. The truth is that in matters domestic she rules supreme over her titular lord, and rules with a rod of iron. Nor is this all. Things domestic Dr. Proudie might have abandoned to her, if not voluntarily, yet willingly. But Mrs. Proudie is not satisfied with such home dominion, and stretches her power over all his movements, and will not even abstain from things spiritual. In fact, the bishop is henpecked. One other marked peculiarity in the character of the bishop's wife must be mentioned. Though not averse to the society and manners of the world, she is, in her own way, a religious woman, and the form in which this tendency shows itself in her is by a strict observance of Sabbatarian rule. Woe betide the recreant housemaid who on Sunday is found to have been listening to the honey of a sweetheart in the Regent's Park instead of the soul-stirring evening discourse of Mr. Slope. For in such matters Mrs. Proudie allows herself to be often guided by that eloquent preacher, the Reverend Obadiah Slope, and as Dr. Proudie is guided by his wife, it necessarily follows that the eminent man we have named has obtained a good deal of control over Dr. Proudie in matters concerning religion. Mr. Slope's only preferment has hitherto been that of reader and preacher in a London district church, and on the consecration of his friend, the new bishop, he readily gave this up to undertake the onerous but congenial duties of domestic chaplain to his lordship. As Mr. Slope sat himself down in the railway carriage, confronting the bishop and Mrs. Proudie as they started on their first journey to Barchester, he began to form in his own mind a plan for his future life. He knew well his patron's strong points, but he knew the weak ones as well. He understood correctly enough to what attempts the new bishop's high spirit would soar, and he rightly guessed that public life would better suit the great man's taste than the small details of diocesan duty. He, therefore, Mr. Slope, would, in effect, be Bishop of Barchester. Such was his resolve. And to give Mr. Slope his due, he had both courage and spirit to bear him out in his resolution. He knew that he should have a hard battle to fight, for the power and patronage of the see would be equally coveted by another great mind. Mrs. Proudie would also choose to be Bishop of Barchester. Mr. Slope, however, flattered himself that he could outmanoeuvre the lady. Such were his thoughts as he sat looking at the sleeping pair in the railway carriage, and Mr. Slope is not the man to trouble himself with such thoughts for nothing. Mr. Slope is tall and not ill-made. His feet and hands are large, but he has a broad chest and wide shoulders to carry off these excrescences, and on the whole his figure is good. His countenance, however, is not specially prepossessing. His hair is lank and of a dull, pale, reddish hue. His face is nearly of the same colour as his hair, though perhaps a little redder. It is not unlike beef. Beef, however, one would say, of a bad quality. His forehead is capacious and high, but square and heavy, and unpleasantly shining. A cold, clammy perspiration always exudes from him. The small drops are ever to be seen standing on his brow, and his friendly grasp is unpleasant. Such is Mr. Slope. Such is the man who has suddenly fallen into the midst of Barchester Cathedral Close, and is destined there to assume the station which has heretofore been filled by the son of the late bishop. Despite his own disappointment, Dr. Grantley prepared to show respect to the station of the bishop, so he and Mr. Harding called together at the palace. Our friends found Dr. Proudie sitting on the old bishop's chair.